All right, today we're going to do with the markup rate. Yesterday you found the markup, which meant how much money, the physical dollar amount that was being marked up. A lot of times we don't report that in dollars. We don't say that it was marked up $15 or marked up $14 or anything like that. We say it was marked up by a percentage. That's typically how we look at them, is by the percent. So what it says businesses have to make money, otherwise they won't be in business very long. Businesses usually express the markup as a percent of the selling price, and we're going to find a markup rate. So again, like we've been talking about, the markup rate is going to be where we take the markup, which is what we found yesterday, divided by the selling price. Okay, so that's what we're going to have to do. And that's the formula. So the markup, you might need to refer back to yesterday's formula to find the markup, but that's how we're going to end up finding it. So this first one says the selling price is $49.79. The cost is $34.85. So first of all, I take $49.79 and I subtract out the $34.85 because that is finding the markup. And I get $14.94. And then I divide it by the selling price. And the selling price in this case was the $49.79. So once I take 14.94 divided by 49.79, I end up with approximately 30%, because it comes out as, if you look at it, it comes out as 0.300060, blah, blah, blah. But if you move it over two spaces, you're at 30%. So something was being marked up 30%. Okay, that's what it says for number one. Number two has the selling price of $249.19, and the cost is $161.97. First thing that you have to do is you got to find the markup. So when I subtract those, I'm going to get $87.22. And then I take and I divide that by how much I'm selling it for, which is the $249.19. And I end up with 0.3500, which if I move that two spaces over, I end up with 35%. So as a company like a Shields, for instance, if they were to sell a new ski jacket for $249.19, but they bought it from Columbia for $161.97, they're marking it up 35% so that they make some money off of you, which then in turn pays their bills and pays their employees and whatnot. Okay, so that's what they're referring to for the markup rate. Same kind of concept with the next one. It says, what's the markup rate based on the selling price? Again, I'm doing the same situation for number three. When it says a toy train costs $29.95 minus the cost of $15.95, and maybe those numbers look familiar to you, and I get 14. And then I divide that by the $29.95, and I end up with approximately 46.7%. When I actually divide that, I should get about that number. Okay, so when I report that, if I'm working at Toys R Us, for instance, and I sell toy trains at Christmas time, I sell it for $29.95. I bought it from Lionel, which is a toy maker that does trains, for $15.95. Then I'm marking it up 46.7%. Okay, so that's how you have to do these ones. You may have to figure out the markup first, which is what we did yesterday, and then divide it by the selling price for what you're selling it for. Keep in mind, too, when they have stuff like per dozen and per one of something, it's always based on per one, not multiple ones. Okay, so the assignment for this one starts on page 520 and goes to 521. That's 1 through 11. Once you get done with this one, make sure, some of you still owe me missing a work. Make sure you take the time to get that done, get it caught up, get everything done. End of the 9 weeks is fast approaching, So make sure that you use your time wisely. Okay, some of you need to. You know who I'm talking to. All right. So see you guys next week. Bye.